Hi everybody, it's Nikki here and welcome to a bookish video. So today I have my June book haul, and yes, I'm fully aware that due to being moved backwards on the Bookgammon board and One Piece being taken off that board because of the backwards move, I was meant to have a book buying ban. I didn't quite work out. So of course I use my point system for my monthly book allowance as to how many books a month I can purchase. This does have some exceptions to the rule. We have pre-orders as an exception, we have gifted books as an exception, and we also have book club picks as exceptions as well, because, you know, I'm buying them for book club. We used to have Fairy books, but we don't have that anymore. So yeah, those are the exceptions. However, as I say, in June, because of Bookgammon gameplay, we ended up with a book buying ban. I bought 5, which is not too bad. Wait till you see July's haul. Then I went nuts. But and we're not even at the end of July yet. It's a thing. I have a problem. So let's start off with the exceptions to the rule. I'll go through those with you. My book club pick for the month, I am a member of the Waterstones book club, and we were reading Shirley Jackson's We Have Always Lived in the Castle. I have read this, so you will need to wait for my July wrap up to think about my thoughts on this one. But this is basically her last greatest novel, apparently, which draws us into a dark, unsettling world of family rivalries, suspense and exquisite black comedy. It is only a short one. Trigger warnings in this one for bullying and ostracization. Is that the word? Ostracization? When people ostracize others for whatever means. So yeah, and death, obviously. It's a thriller. It was very short. I was about to go into my review of it. I'm not doing that one yet. But yeah, I bought this one. Then we'll go into pre-orders. So I pre-ordered, why wouldn't I? The Mermaid Call by Alex Cotter. This is published by Nosy Crow, and I love their middle grade books. I think Nosy Crow is my favourite middle grade publisher because they also publish Alistair Chisholm books, which I'll get to in a moment. So this is Once You Find Her, There's No Return, and it just says, a mermaid in a deep dark lake, swirling whirlpools and seaweed snares, stolen money and a missing jewel, 2 lost girls. When Vivian wades into a mystery from the past, she little knows that the truth could pull her under. So yes, very excited for this. It's a mermaid, middle grade. What wouldn't I like about it? The next 2 books I have, these were not technically pre-orders, but I knew in advance that I would be picking them up in the month of June. And the first one of those is The Consequence Girl, and the second one is Ellis and Pathseeker. These are both written by Alistair Chisholm. Ellis and Pathseeker in the Dragonstorm series is like lower middle grade, so you're talking like 5 to 9 sort of age range. And The Consequence Girl is a little bit older, sort of middle grade, sort of 11 to 14s maybe. Alistair Chisholm is an auto-buy author for me, so anything he writes, I'm likely to purchase. And I actually met Alistair Chisholm. He was doing a bit of a tour around for his new book, The Consequence Girl, and he was visiting a local indie bookstore near me, and my daughter was kind enough to take me over, so I was able to meet Alistair Chisholm. And I didn't get it on video because I don't like doing that, but I was able to tell him how Orion Lost, which is another book of his, I believe his debut, changed my life really. It really resonated with me and my mental health. And because of that book, I have been able to manage my mental health so much better. I won't go into too many details. I think I almost made him cry. He looked a little bit choked up when I was talking to him, but I told him, look, you're an auto-buy author for me now, because if you can write one book that has literally changed my life, I'm going to support you for as long as I possibly can. So I bought both of these books. Ellis and the Pathseeker is the third book in the Dragonstorm series, but these are basically young middle grades, as I say, that deal with these children who are kind of called up to a secret society who each buddy up with a dragon, and they go on little adventures. And the one thing about Alistair Chisholm books is they always have a message in them, so each book has its own different message. So that's what I like about them, dragon books. And then The Consequence Girl says, the world of Colony is in ruins. No one knows what caused society to begin tearing itself apart, but the secret may lie with Cora, a girl living on the mountainside far away from others. Cora possesses an incredible ability, one that can change lives in ways both good and bad. But there are people looking for Cora, and she is forced on the run and must decide who she is, what she can do, and how to fix the world. So that is that one. And my last pre-order for June, I had to pre-order this because I have her other books. And I believe that this is not, I think it's like a companion, the start of a companion trilogy, but it is Forging Silver into Stars by Brigid Kemmerer. And I think this is, it's a stunning new epic fantasy from the best-selling author of the Cursebreaker trilogy. So yeah, she did Curse So Dark and Lonely, and I think that this is like a companion kind of trilogy to it, because it says magic has been banished in the kingdom of Syl Shallow for as long as Jax can remember, and Syl Shallow was a place in the last trilogy. So I think it's set in the same world, but we are following different characters this time. So I won't go into too much details about what this one is, because it may spoil you for the Cursebreaker trilogy if you have not read that. So yeah, very excited to get to this because I have finished the Cursebreaker trilogy, so I'm very happy to move on. I enjoyed book 1 and book 2, but I was severely let down by book 3 in the Cursebreaker trilogy, so I'm hoping that we're getting some of her good stuff at the start of this one again. So yeah, I got that one. So on to the books that I shouldn't have bought. However, I absolutely have no guilt about the books that I did buy. One was on my anticipated releases for this year. So although I didn't actually get around to pre-ordering it, I knew back in January that I was going to be purchasing it. And we'll talk about that one first. And this is For the Throne by Hannah Witton. This is a sequel to For the Wolf, and if you know, I absolutely loved For the Wolf. I read it earlier this year, last year maybe, might have been last year, and absolutely adored it. It was my star book, and Bookgammon wouldn't let me pick it for a while. Eventually I read it for the Magical Readathon, I think, and I just devoured it. Pardon the pun. So this is the sequel, and this, I believe, is because it's only a duology, this will finish off the story. And I believe that this one follows the sister of the main character from the first book. So I'm very, very excited, because at the end of the first book, something happened to the sister. And so now we're going to find out what happened to her and how she's going to, I don't know, deal with that, shall we say, without spoiling anything. So yeah, this wasn't a pre-order, but technically I already knew well in advance back in January that this was a book I was going to be purchasing this year, so no guilt for this one. The next one I have no guilt about either, because it is the sequel to a book that I've read this year and I do want to continue, and that is The Blood Traitor by Lynette Noni. Is this the third one? Yes, this is the third book in the trilogy. And I read the first one not that long ago. I purchased the second one, I believe, in May. And I took the opportunity to buy the third one as well, because I feel like this is a trilogy that I am going to want to read and finish up pretty quickly, because it was such an amazing start with the first book, and it left on a cliffhanger that I've been chomping at the bit to get to the next one. So I feel like that's going to happen again with the second book. So I bought the third book in anticipation of that. So there's no guilt, because I've already started this trilogy and this will be the one to finish it off. So no guilt for that. And this, by the way, is the third book to The Prison Healer. So The Prison Healer? Yeah. So you have The Prison Healer, The Gilded Cage, and then The Blood Traitor. So no guilt there for that book either. And then the last three books I have absolutely no guilt about, because these are non-fiction. And I don't buy non-fiction very often. But if you know me, you know I love my history. And all three of these are history books. The first one I bought because it was on a table in Waterstones, where all the books that were on this table, their publishers or authors had agreed to help Ukraine, or they were from Ukrainian authors. So I purchased this one. So it's a short history of Europe from Pericles, I think that's Pericles, to Putin. So by Simon Jenkins. So yeah. Oh, he does another one, Short History of England. I might have to pick that one up as well. I don't know if he is particularly from Ukraine or what, but apparently donations maybe from this book might go to help Ukraine. I don't know. It was on the table to help support Ukraine, so I picked it up. I knew I wanted to do something, even if it's just a little bit. So yeah, every little helps, doesn't it? So this is basically tracing themes down the ages from youthful ambition and religious conflict to geographical constraints and invasion. The author brings together the key forces and dominant periods into one chronological narrative, all with his usual insight, colour and authority. Covering the key events, eras and individuals, the author's portrait of the continent could not be more timely or more masterful. So there you go. That's what it is. I love me some history. And then the next two, when I saw these, I was just leaving the book club meeting and I saw these on the table in Waterstones. I had to pick them up. I had to. Because if you know history, you will know that Catholicism and Protestantism, I always stumble over that word, have been pretty good influences, or bad influences, throughout history. Because King Henry VIII wanted to divorce Catherine of Aragon and marry Anne Boleyn, he left the Catholic faith and moved to Protestantism. So my interest in religion throughout history is up there, but I don't know much about these two religions. I'm not a religious person myself. I have been christened, and I'm christened Church of England, so I'm guessing that that's Protestantism, I think. I don't know. But yeah, I'm not one for following faith at the moment. It's not a part of my life. So I want to learn more about these two religions that have been warring against each other even in current times, like with Northern Ireland and things like that, you know, I'm just intrigued by them. So we have The Catholics by Roy Hattersley. And it just says the church and its people in Britain and Ireland from the Reformation to the present day. And then we have Protestants, the radicals who made the modern world by Alec Byrie. And this just says 500 years ago, Protestant Christianity began with one stubborn monk. Today it includes 1 billion people across the globe. Yes, the original Martin Luther was the one who started Protestantism, apparently. So yes. Not Martin Luther King, but Martin Luther. So yeah, I do know a little bit about these religions, but hopefully these 2 books will help me to learn a lot more. A lot more. So no guilt there for these either, cause I'm so excited. In fact, I actually started to read this as soon as I got home, and I got a couple of pages in and I was like, no, Nicola, no. You have a TBR to read. So that's how excited I am for these books. And I was starting with the Catholics because the Catholics were there first and then the Protestants came in. You know what I mean? So yeah, very excited about them. So that was all of the books that I bought in the month of June. I'm not mad about it. I bought 5 books that I technically should not have bought. However, 3 of them were non-fiction, very excited about them. 1 was an anticipated release, and 1 is the 3rd book in a trilogy that I'm already started reading. And then I have 5 books that were pre-orders or book club picks. So did I break the book buying ban? I don't know. I don't think so. And I'm going to stick with that excuse. So that is it. That is my book haul for June. Are there any books here that have piqued your interest? Not a lot of fantasy here, for sure. A few middle grades and some non-fiction. Would you be more interested in picking up more non-fiction? What kind of non-fiction interests you if you were to pick some up? Let me know in the comment section down below the video. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!